Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today we're diving into a story that has kept fans on the edge of their seats for years, the real-life chapter after the cameras stopped rolling for Ebru Şahin and Akınözü. All the details are in this video. If you enjoy thoughtful deep dives like this, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support us even more, click the join button below. Thank you, and let's get into it. When Hırkay premiered, something unusual happened. It wasn't just the ratings or the international sales, it was the sense that two actors, Ebru Şahin and Akınözü, had built an on-screen world so convincing that audiences wanted to keep living in it long after the closing credits. Their performances were precise without being cold, emotional without losing control. That synchronicity created a legacy that kept the names Ebru and Akın linked in headlines, hashtags, and fan accounts across languages and time zones. Then the series ended, as all series do, and real life took the microphone. Work schedules grew heavier, personal priorities shifted, and new projects demanded new forms of focus. With that shift came a silence, no joint interviews, no behind-the-scenes clips, no candid photos at festival events. Silence in celebrity culture is never just silence, it becomes a canvas for projection. Some read into it distance. Others, conflict. Many simply missed the easy rapport they had witnessed on set. What really happened in that post-finale vacuum? According to people who worked on the production, it wasn't a dramatic rupture so much as parallel lives accelerating in different directions. Ebru poured herself into new roles and into building a life away from the set lights. Akın, too, locked into a cycle of scripts, table reads, and character work that demanded mental quiet. Their circles respected the boundary. The internet did not. The first time the two crossed paths again in a way fans could trace was at a charity gala in Istanbul. The room was full, the flashes relentless. Both arrived separately, greeted organizers, posed for a restrained set of photos, and focused on the cause. Observers, trained by years of ship wars and body language breakdowns, waited for a signal. None came. If anything, the disciplined calm of that night made the speculation louder. Was there tension? Was there a conversation that hadn't happened? Days later, there was. A mutual friend, someone who had seen them carry heavy scenes with care and who still speaks fondly about their set discipline, suggested a private sit-down away from the noise. Not a reconciliation dinner, not a press stunt, just a human conversation between two professionals whose names had become shorthand for a very specific kind of chemistry. The place was ordinary on purpose, a quiet cafe with a view of the Bosphorus, chosen not for prestige but for the guarantee that the staff knew how to keep a confidence. What followed, by all accounts, wasn't fireworks. It was better than that. It was an exchange of clarity. They spoke about the weight of expectations that built up after a success like Hırkay, how a fandom's love can start to feel like a script you didn't write, and how protecting your private life sometimes looks like distance from the outside. They spoke about gratitude, for the work, for the audience that grew with them, for the once-in-a-career luck of finding a partner on set who will catch you when a scene calls for falling without a safety net. And they spoke about boundaries, that fiction belongs to fiction, that real relationships are not raw material, that being kind doesn't require being available. There was also a forward-looking piece. Both acknowledged that the industry would always try to rebuild their duo when a project needed ratings oxygen. Offers arrived with tempting numbers and a knowing wink, producers reference the magic. They agreed that if they ever did return to a project together, it would be because the story earned them, not because nostalgia demanded them. That decision, like everything else, would include the people closest to them. And here is a detail often missed by those who crave melodrama: the partners in their lives were treated with respect throughout. No one was painted as a villain, no anonymous sources cast as antagonists. The conversation never drifted into insinuation. It stayed in the only lane that leads anywhere productive: what to do next, and how to do it well. After the meeting, their feeds did something subtle that the online world noticed anyway. A quiet like on a post about a charity initiative. A story reshared that celebrated crew members. A comment under a fan collage that thanked the audience for their long memory and long patience. None of it screamed "we're back," all of it whispered "we're fine." Weeks passed. Then came a public moment that tested the calm. They were both scheduled for a roundtable at a regional festival. Panel topic: from blockbuster series to lasting careers. They didn't sit side by side, and the moderator avoided gotcha questions, but the exchange carried the same mutual ease they had built on set years ago. When asked how to protect yourself after a cultural phenomenon, Ebru said, "By remembering you are more than the loudest season of your life." When asked how to honor fans without losing yourself, Akın answered, "By telling the truth about what you can give." The audience applauded, not because the responses were dramatic, but because they were grown. This is where the story changes shape. Instead of obsessing over the past, teams began asking a more interesting question: could there be a format that allows them to collaborate without forcing them back into the mold? A one-off festival short? A limited series arc with no romantic plotline? A dual interview project where they mentor young actors on scene craft? Ideas circulated. What mattered most to both was control, of tone, of message, of the promise that the people they care about would feel protected, not exposed. Meanwhile, fans did what fans do best when they feel respected: they built. They organized viewing parties that doubled as fundraisers for causes the actors support. They created subtitled compilations that focused on technique, timing, eye lines, pacing, rather than only on shipping. They kept the conversation interesting, which is the most underrated gift any audience can give. So, did Ebru Şahin and Akınözü reconcile? If by reconcile you mean, did they replace rumors with reality and choose civility over spectacle? The answer appears to be yes. Did they promise a new project? No. They promised something rarer: that if a project appears, it will honor the line between work and life, and it will be chosen for reasons that make sense off camera, not just on. There's an important industry lesson here. The cleanest stories aren't always the loudest. A quiet meeting by the water can carry more consequence than a dozen red carpets. A single sentence, carefully placed, can cool a tabloid frenzy more effectively than an hour-long interview. And a promise to do nothing until the right something appears is the kind of restraint that builds careers measured in decades, not seasons. If you're listening to this and wondering what happens next, here are the signs to watch. If a producer is serious, the script they send will be strong on character and light on manipulation. That's the only pitch with a chance. If a public event includes both of them again, the topic will be craft, not confession. Expect discussions about rehearsal methods, preparation, and the ethics of storytelling, exactly the conversations that made them beloved by colleagues long before the fandom arrived. If you see more posts amplifying crew achievements, charity work, or mentorship, that's not evasion, that's priority. It's how seasoned actors redistribute attention from their names to the teams that make everything possible. For now, the best ending to this chapter is the least dramatic one: two people who made something beautiful together, acknowledging the past, respecting the present, and leaving the door open only if the future earns it. What do you think? If you could design the ideal project for Ebru and Akın, would it be a slow-burn drama set far from their earlier roles, or something daring that subverts every expectation? Would you prefer to see them share a screen again, or would you rather celebrate the courage it takes to let a legacy stand on its own? Tell me in the comments. Your ideas often become the best part of these videos. If this deep dive gave you a clearer picture beyond the headlines, please like the video, subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, and tap the bell so you never miss an update. And if you want to support long-form, respectful coverage of your favorite stars, consider joining as a channel member. Your support helps us research carefully and tell stories with the nuance they deserve. Thank you so much for watching my video. See you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.